Hey YouTube, Alex Conley here. I just wanted to come to you guys today with a video discussing the recent issue at CNN. They recently announced that they arrested the suspect this morning. I think his name is Cesar Sayak. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anyway, this is all over our national news. Basically, this guy sent what appears to be bombs to different CNN offices and also some public, well-known public opponents of Trump or detractors of President Trump. And so basically this has thrown a lot of people into a frenzy and into, a scared state. I mean, this guy threatened a lot of really, honestly, people. I mean, they're humans just like the rest of us, and it's really sad to see people make such a public display of lacking a respect for life and living beings. Even if you disagree with these people politically, or you disagree with CNN politically, I think we can all agree that it's totally inappropriate to do these kinds of things. To threaten people, it's the opposite of what we want in our society. We want to be able to discuss problems and to have open dialogue, and it's clear that it's clear that this validates some of our security concerns, at least within the United States. I have mixed feelings about our actions abroad, but I think that it's fairly clear that there's a sizable portion of mentally ill people in the United States, and basically these people are not, this population has not really been addressed ever since Ronald Reagan closed the state-run mental institutions throughout the 1980s. I think that anybody in the Bay Area can attest to this. We have actually a sizable homeless population here, many of whom suffer from a form of drug addiction or mental illness or both. These conditions are absolutely exacerbated by life on the streets. I know from personal experience that being homeless is a very, very challenging situation, and once you're in it, it's pretty hard to get out. Anyway, based on what I've read about this guy, he has many prior charges on his record, from, I think, theft to drug abuse, or not drug abuse, but drug possession to, more serious threats. That's really what I'm more concerned about. Not to say that theft and drug abuse aren't issues in our society, but the biggest problem is the threats of violence. It's pretty unnerving to read, some of the things that he talks about. And there's a picture where it actually shows his vehicle, which has all kinds of odd and strange stickers, politically motivated stickers on it. And somebody even submitted a photograph of this van to, I think they posted it to Twitter, and something else about Twitter actually. This guy, Sayak, threatened somebody over Twitter, and this lady who he threatened reported it to Twitter, and they did nothing. And she's actually, I think, made a public comment about that, saying, "Oh wow, Twitter, why didn't you address this when I pointed out that this guy is dangerous?" So I think that kind of points back to my concerns that in America we really don't want to address mental illness. We have these issues of bomb threats and mass shootings and all kinds of deranged behavior that goes unnoticed or untracked throughout our society. And I think that part of this is due to a lack of centralized culture. I mean, some people say that we organize around freedom, but I think that that's a bit ambiguous because different Americans have different levels of freedom based on things like, criminal record, family support, financial stability, job stability, career stability. I think that in America we can be somewhat detached from other people. We go from home to our job, and we don't really engage with people outside of our social circles. And I think that when we encounter mentally ill people, we tend to not know what to do, and we also don't know how to create structures in our society to help these people, or even to catch these people before their mental illness progresses to where the point that they do something like this. It's totally unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable to threaten people with violence. I believe that the most practical way to handle disagreements in our society is through public discussion and discourse, and using our words. Because I think that as humans we need to rise above our animal instincts to the best degree that we can. I think that there's always going to be some level of that in our society, but I think that we could be better than that. I think that the technology that we've managed to create throughout the Industrial Revolution, before that and after that, to this day, the technological revolution, we can use these tools for productive means. We don't have to focus on disagreement. I think we can appreciate the beauty in our differences and take measures to prevent situations like this from continuing to be a regular occurrence. I think that South Park did a great job of it, and I think it was the first episode of the new season, season 22, where they talk about basically school shootings have become so normalized that throughout the town, and Sharon, Stan's mother, is the only person that seems to care about the issue, and the rest of the cast just kind of approaches it like it's normalcy. I think that it turns out to be a bigger deal to Stan's dad, Randy, that he did poorly on a test than the fact that there's a school shooting almost every day at the school. Now, obviously, that's an exaggeration. There's not a school shooting every day at every school, but I think it's worth noting that these things seem to happen every few weeks, and people just kind of nod and move along. Actually, next month I'm going to a business convention, and them and several other businesses continue to book the MGM Grand, even though there was a violent shooting next to it at a Jason Aldean concert, I think last year or year before last. Anyway, somewhat recent, but it's just kind of unnerving to know that, I'll be going to learn about business opportunities in a building right next to where a bunch of people, innocent people, were gunned down. And I just think that we as a society, we live in what many people in our country want to describe as the greatest country in the world. We need to become more serious about addressing some of our issues. Some things that I think get brushed under the rug and could be addressed. I'm not attempting to take anything away from what this guy did, the gravity of it. I think that he should absolutely be punished, and he is. I mean, he's probably going to be in prison for the rest of his life, and for good reason. But I think that we can do more. I think that we need to think. We don't need to treat this as an isolated incident. We don't need to treat serious mental illness as an isolated incident. I think that mental illness is a lot more prevalent in this country than people are willing to admit, or may even realize. If you're fairly successful, you can become fairly detached from the problems and concerns of the average American, or even the below average American. I think as our society becomes more stratified, there are going to be higher numbers of people who are below average, and which is ironic and maybe nonsensical, but I think that my point is somewhat clear. Anyway, my name's Alex Conley. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like my videos, if you like my content, definitely subscribe. We want to grow this channel. Me and my team, Zell and Zai. We're always brainstorming on what kind of new content that we want to create. Right now, it's a mixture of my personal opinions, covering some news, and also tips and help and things that I've kind of cobbled together through spending time on the internet, but some things that other people might not know. But anyway, if you disagree with this, comment, let me know. Maybe you agree. But anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, Alex Conley. Bye.